NBA draft just a couple of days away. It's Thursday night. Here's Matt Norlander's big board and some eyebrow raisers after you get past the first couple. Derek Lively, the second, at number 3. That's a guy that a lot of others are going to have going late teens, maybe late first round. But Matt Norlander's big board is a little bit different. For more on that, Jeremy St. Louis has Matt.
Well, the annual NBA Draft Big Board is up over on CBSSports.com, and let's welcome in its author, college basketball writer and insider, Matt Norlander. Matt, a little bit different this year in terms of the big board, kind of a hybrid board, because you're not just ranking the draft prospects on necessarily where they're going to get picked, but looking at the longevity of their careers. Now, the top 2 guys are consensus, of course, Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson. When you look at these 2 guys, I mean, there's really not much more that can be said. And by the looks of it, you agree with that and you think they're going to have long NBA careers.
Yeah, that's right. So every year for CBSSports.com, the week of the draft, I publish a mock draft that is based off of my big board that is a projection of who will have the best NBA career. So I'm not looking at, it's a different kind of mock draft. And so sometimes those players match up with where they're projected to be picked. Many times that is not the case. There is no case against Victor Wembanyama, number 1. He is the best prospect, and I believe when we look up 10-plus years from now, he will have the best NBA career. Having said that, there is no guarantee of that. I just think that is the most likely path and avenue. Scoot Henderson, I really like as a strong number 2. You can see the rest of my top 10 here, and as a reminder, when you are watching, I am saying these will be the 10 best NBA careers a decade plus from now. Let's check in on 2030s and just see how well or not that I did. But Wembanyama, generational talent. Can't wait to see him on an NBA floor. I just hope the frame holds up. As I wrote for CBSSports.com, if he hits his ceiling, he'll be one of the 10 best players in the history of basketball. Even if he is shy of that and is 80% of what we hope to see from him, he'll still be one of the 15 best players in the sport for the next decade. That's more than enough to make him easily number 1. For Scoot Henderson, I think he has all NBA potential. I think he's going to make multiple All-Star games. I love his potential to be a distributor, a playmaker. His handle is incredible. He has really good feel for the game. Awesome athlete. There are some, there's no perfect prospect. Not even Wembanyama's perfect, right? You wish he had maybe his frame a little bit more filled out, but watching Scoot play is an absolute joy. He has earned this opportunity to go number 2 overall. Brandon Miller is still out there as well, but I've got him a few spots lower. But if this goes the way that I believe it should go, yes, Wembanyama, everyone knows he's going number 1 to San Antonio. And then I think Scoot winds up going number 2 to Charlotte.
For your 3rd prospect on the board, you call this your moonshot projection. Walk us through it.
Right. So I have a player at number 3 who is not projected to be anywhere close to this, but it is Duke's Derek Lively II. And the reason why is I think that Derek Lively, in a few years' time, once he fills out his frame and develops, increases his ability to hit a 3-point shot, he is going to be among the better bigs in the NBA. I think he will be the 3rd best player in this draft when we look up 7, 8, 10 years down the road. Reasons why? Incredible defender, all over, can guard in space, switch a screen, protects the rim, does well in the paint, gets up, walls up well, incredible instincts. His defense is already great, and I think he will be even better year after year into his NBA career. The reason why I have him so high is his passing acumen is good, and I believe, and I saw this at the grassroots level, didn't see it a ton at Duke, but his role is going to change. I believe that Derek Lively will grow into a stretch 5. He will be able to hit 3-pointers. He will be tasked with doing that. And because he will have a good all-around game, I think he will make multiple All-Star games. Yes, it is a moonshot, but we see this often. We see guys, Nikola Jokic was picked in the 2nd round. Now he's the best player in the NBA. I'm not saying Lively will be that, but we see guys frequently get picked outside the top 10, and then you look up X number of years down the road and you say, wow, this guy went 5, 10, 15 spots too late. I think that will be the case with Lively.
At number 4, you have a guy who you say could step in right away and possibly even start, a guy who could be valued by a number of teams. You're higher on this guy than most. Who is it and why?
It is Anthony Black, and I did a deep dive feature on Black earlier this month for CBS Sports. Anthony Black is going to make any team he's drafted to better, primarily because he's a 6'6" point guard, wonderful distributor, really sees the floor well, selfless player. And here's the other component. He's not just good at defense, he prioritizes defense. He's a former four-sport athlete. I mean, he was great at baseball. He was great at soccer. He would have been an SEC level, like in a different universe. Anthony Black is a starting sophomore wide receiver in the SEC right now, but he chose basketball, and now look at him. He's a wonderful athlete, and the shot still needs work. Like, he's not a reliable jump shooter, and from the perimeter still has work to do, but he does so many other things well, Jeremy, and his reputation as a person and a teammate is sky high. I think that I think fit might matter to a certain extent, but I don't know if it really truly will be an impact the way that it is with other guys. To me, if Anthony Black hits, I think he is a better version, slightly, but still better on the whole, than former number 1 pick Ben Simmons. Similar to Simmons, Black has some questions about his jumper, but I think he can get there. And unlike Simmons, Black's background checks and his interview process, he has passed that with flying colors. So I like him 4th overall. A
lot of athletic ability there. At number 5, Brandon Miller, who you already did mention. And number 6, Usar Thompson, one of the Thompson twins. Lastly, at number 7, a guy who could be the best shooter in this draft, you say?
Yeah, Jordan Hawkins out of UConn. It might be between Miller at 5, Brandon Miller at 5, and Jordan Hawkins at 7, who winds up being the best shooter. I dropped in Brandon Miller just a couple of spots for reasons that are detailed in my mock draft there. I just think that the likelihood of the universal top 3 projected wind up being 1, 2, and 3, that almost never happens. So I knocked him. Hawkins has an NBA form, NBA range, good athleticism, needs to put on some muscle, no doubt about it. Is a little slight in the chest, but man, it is hard to see him not topping out as a poor man's Klay Thompson, which is a good thing, by the way. Klay Thompson is easily cruising into the Hall of Fame. I'm not predicting a Hall of Fame career for Jordan Hawkins, but I am predicting that he will go in and be a bucket getter at the NBA level. He's not projected to go as high as 7th or 8th. If he went top 10, it would not surprise me. And I think we might have an inevitability with him where we look up by the end of his rookie contract and see, yeah, this guy was picked 3, 4, 5, 6 spots too late. I love his offensive potential, and I think he'll fit in almost any NBA scheme no matter where he's drafted.
Great stuff as always, Matt, our college basketball writer and insider Matt Norlander. You can see Matt's big board over on CBSSports.com. And the draft coming up on Thursday. CBS Sports HQ, of course, will be all over. We have draft coverage. All the people you'd expect to be a part of it will be Matt, Adam Finkelstein, Bill Ryder, Kyle Boone, Avery Johnson. We're even drafting in Tim Doyle, hosted by Hakeem Dermish and Joe Musso, on the clock, underway at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, presented by Jeep. And for more build-up towards the draft, well, the Eye on College Basketball podcast has you covered. They have a whole slew of draft profiles over there that you can listen to. You can download and follow the Eye on College Basketball podcast wherever you get your podcast audio, or you can scan that QR code to listen now.